Okay, my video cut off there. I'm getting used to the phone that I have now is pretty much, it's like a newer phone. It's the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. So I'm still getting used to everything. This is my first time really using the camera for anything, long, like a Q&A. I hope you guys are still tuning in. I know this is long. I always wind up doing that with videos. So yeah, I was talking about my liver failure, and my allergies to medications. Oh, I also cannot take Toradol. Toradol, I don't have an allergy to it, but it causes me severe abdominal pain, which is a common side effect of Toradol. So, I mean, I have tried literally everything, and this is just what works. When you find something, you hold on to it. Okay, so thank you, Eric, for your question. I mean, you never really learn to fully cope with what's something like this, and do I want to give up? Oh yeah. There are so many times where I want to give up. This cat has had a million lives. And I mean, even a feline can only have so many lives and so many chances. And it looks like mine have finally run out. Okay, Christy Snively. Hi, Christy. What does it feel like to eat with the feeding tube? It must be hard not to be able to taste the foods you love. Hell yes. I miss solid food with a passion. I miss it so much. I mean, it was very weird how this all became like a domino effect for me. I went into recovery from my anorexia in my teenage years. Then, it was like, just as I was starting to get comfortable with food again, I started vomiting uncontrollably, not being able to keep anything down, getting full very fast, losing a lot of weight very quickly, very rapidly. Then by 2012, I went to New York University Hospital in Manhattan, and I got my first gastric emptying study. They gave me oatmeal with radioactive stuff in it, put me on an operating table for the scan, and by the end of 4 hours, the oatmeal had barely even made it into my stomach. And that's when they said to me, "You're most likely never going to be able to eat or drink again. Your stomach is completely paralyzed and doesn't work anymore." So, I mean, I try to find loopholes around not eating solid food. Like I said, whatever does go in my mouth has to be drained out of the G-tube. So even when I do have something, like I drink something, or I have like food that's pureed to a baby food liquid consistency, it has to be drained. So I just really I just eat things for taste now. It's not really for nutrition. I do have very severe hypoglycemia, so when my sugar drops, I do grab something, and even though I have to drain it, it gives me that little instant burst of sugar, so it just gives me a little bit of relief. But like I said, then I have to drain it, so it's weird. Having a feeding tube sucks. It really does. It's a lifesaver, but and I know I have to have it, but it's painful, it's tiring, and it's a lot of upkeep. So thank you, Christy. Angela Darling. Hi, Angie. Love you, hun. Okay. What are your favorite fictional characters and why? My favorite fictional characters. Leatherface. I love Leatherface. He's not a fictional... Well, he is a fictional character, but he's based off of a real person. Ed Gein. So... But... I love Leatherface. Beatrix Kiddo. From Kill Bill. Definitely my number one inspiration. I love... Oh, Nosferatu. Love Nosferatu. Original F.W. Murnau, 1922, silent version. But the 1979 Werner Herzog version is my absolute favorite. It's even better than the original silent one and better than Dracula. And I do love Bela Lugosi, though. I'm also a big Twilight fan. Shout out to Regina, my Twilight Vixen sister from another mister. Yeah, Twilight's like a guilty pleasure of mine. That'll be for another video, though. Also from Angie, if you could tell the world something right now, what would it be? Fight until the very end. Even when all hope is gone. Just never give up. I mean, just because I'm accepting now that my life is coming to an end, it doesn't mean that I've given up. I've stopped running from the fact. Because before I was kind of like blindly going about it, you know, kind of ignoring it. And you know, now that I've been shown like physical evidence that my body is failing completely, you know, that's just when I had to make some peace with myself. But yeah, if I could tell the world one thing, just always believe in yourself. There's only one you. There's never going to be a duplicate. Love yourself as much as you possibly can. I know it's not easy. And treat others as you would want to be treated. And if somebody's nasty to you, fuck them. Also from Angie, what movies inspired you to get into filmmaking? Kind of already answered that one before. But yeah, Kill Bill is my biggest reason for getting into filmmaking. Nosferatu, I would definitely say as well. Probably didn't say Nosferatu for, you know, as one of my filmmaking inspirations before, but definitely Nosferatu. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, I know who this person is, but they just want their initials read. KM. Hi, honey. Tell us about your experiences during this time. Many don't understand what you're going through. I think people should know, be made aware. Many are in the dark. Even I don't know everything. Just that it's serious. Start from whatever point you wish to, but tell us the hurdles you face and still do and how you were treated. I know a lot of it was not good, and people need to be made aware of these things. Just to get treatment was a great challenge. Patients need advocates, and many times they have none. You can be their voice. God bless you, hun. XO. Okay. This is a loaded one. My experiences. Well, I explained about my liver failure. I mean, that had to be really the scariest thing out of this time. Oh, also my surgery that was botched in Winthrop Hospital in, what was it, May of 2015. I was I had a hypoglycemic seizure in the hospital, and they were taking me down for an emergency MRI of my brain to see how much damage the seizures were doing. And as they were transporting me down in the stretcher, my TPN line, it got snagged between the elevator door and the transporter that was, taking me down. So it was ripped out of me. So when the surgeon went to go put a new TPN line in, he went right here, subclavial, and right on the first shot, he made me sign a waiver saying that there was a 20% chance that my lungs could collapse from him going through that route. So of course I signed the waiver because I really had no choice at that point. So on the first try though, not only did he collapse my left lung, but he punctured my left artery and punctured the left lung. Within seconds, my lungs filled up with blood and fluid. I couldn't talk, I couldn't breathe. I was just dying before my very eyes, and I couldn't even say anything. So it's like you're being forced to just watch this happen to your own body. Like you're just strapped down almost, and you're motionless and voiceless, and don't know why that just went out of focus. You're motionless, you're voiceless, and it's like, I'll be damned. I'm watching myself die, and I can't do a damn thing about it. So yeah, they had to give me about 8 units of blood, 8, big IV bags of blood. And even then, I was still it wasn't enough. I was just bleeding out and bleeding out. So they had to do a thoracotomy, pneumothorax. They had to put chest tubes into me to suck the blood out. So they also had to do an A-line on my wrist. And then they put me in the ICU, and they did emergency surgery on me to open my chest up and everything. And when they did that, they looked at me and they said, "We're going to get a DNR from your husband." He was my husband still at the time. Because you're not going to come out of this. You're not going to make it. So I clutched my throat and I said to them, "Please give me something. I don't want to, if I'm going to go, I want to go humanely." So they said, "Well, if we do this, then you're definitely going to die." And once again, I tried to say to them, "If I'm going to go, please let me go humanely." So they gave me the meds to put me to sleep for the operation. And they got the DNR from my ex-husband. And I was pronounced dead 3 times on that operating table. I came out of it, though. Somehow I did. I'm getting so tired. I'm sorry, guys. I can barely even keep my eyes open. I have one last question. Then you guys can go. Okay. If any of you guys have ever watched Salute Your Shorts, you might recognize this name. Michael Ray Bauer, aka Donkey Lips. Ah, he's a sweetheart. Love you, Michael. Miss you so much, honey. He sent me a question. What is on your bucket list? Oh boy. I could probably make like a 6-hour video with what's on my bucket list, but I will just state, a few things. I mean, being a filmmaker was always on my bucket list, and I'm glad that I got to experience that. Getting married. That was always on my bucket list. I did get married, but it didn't work out. After I died 3 times on the operating table, I was transferred to a hospital, an intensive care hospital for critically ill people in New Jersey. And upon my arrival there, I was greeted with divorce papers from my ex-husband. And when I asked him why, he said, nope, nah. I'm like, well, what does that mean? He's like, means I'm not putting myself through watching you die ever again. Can I blame him? Yes and no. I'm never going to forgive him for doing that because he left me when I needed him the most. He was under the assumption that I relapsed from my anorexia, which I did not. I will take that to my grave. Never relapsed from it. Was it hard? Yeah. It was very hard. Still is very hard. Will never stop being very hard. So, yeah. I mean, it was beautiful while it lasted, my relationship with him. And I thought he understood. I mean, when we first met online, I said to him, you're not going to want to date me because I'm very, very ill, and chances are I'm going to die very soon, and I'm going to get much sicker before I do pass. And all he said to me was, all I want to do is date you. I don't care. And with about a month into our relationship, he proposed to me. It was a beautiful relationship, it was, but can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. What am I gonna say? Back to my bucket list. I'm conflicted as to really if I ever wanted children. I did. It's like weird though, because when I saw certain people's children, like screaming, crying children, I'd be like, oh my god, I can't handle it. I can't. But then you see, when you just go about your life and you run into a baby, at the grocery store or, the mall, movies, going out to eat, wherever. You see a baby, and you see a baby that just behaves so well. And you're like, that's it. I want to have a baby. I want that to be, what my kid is acting like. But you gotta remember, kids don't act like that all the time. So, but I did want to get pregnant. Unfortunately, God had other plans for me. I found out very early, after I went into my recovery from my anorexia, that I could not get pregnant. And then later on, I found out that I really could not get pregnant big time because I developed endometriosis. I was supposed to have a hysterectomy, a complete hysterectomy, but when I was due to have the surgery, my gastroparesis got diagnosed. So I had to start taking care of that. So that kind of got put on the back burner. So to this day, I still have very painful female organs. Bucket list. Oh my goodness. I always wanted to see the French and Italian countrysides. Like Tuscany, Cannes, um, you know, always wanted to go overseas to, Europe, Asia, Africa, um, you know, I wanted to travel. I love traveling. I used to want to become a singer when I was in my very young teens, like somewhere between the age of 9 and 11. Oh, I just said 9/11. Not good. Sorry. Um, Between the ages of 9 and 11, I sent a demo recording into a record company. They called me back, but they obviously didn't sign me. But that was one thing. I always wanted my poetry published. I never got to publish it myself, like per se, in in that meaning that I never got to publish my own book. Was I published? Yes. Yes, I was published several times in like poetry collection books, things like that. Um, hmm. I I mean, a bucket list. I would have to say, well, I was a very good fur mommy to my kitties. I've also owned dogs in the past. I love animals. I would do anything for them. My 4 cats are my whole world. And I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Bad times, the good times, in all aspects of my life. I would do it all over again just to be able to see their faces again. Because nobody could take my babies away from me. And right now, my ex-husband has them, obviously, because I can't care for them. But before I do pass, I do want to see them again. And that is my full intention. So that is on my bucket list. That is one big major goal. Is to be able to just see my cats again before I pass. And to hold them. Mommy loves you guys. My babies. I kind of wanna, I don't want to say that I want a relationship before I pass, but I don't know. I feel like I'm dying alone. It's very hard. I just wish things didn't go down like they did. But what am I gonna do? It is what it is. Also on my bucket list, I wanted to, obviously make more films and become a more established filmmaker. God, I don't know. I want to go back to LA, California, definitely. I really don't know if that's going to happen before I pass. I really don't think so. But, I would love to go back there. Went there for my honeymoon. It was just so damn beautiful. Such a different lifestyle out there. People are so much more relaxed. Not like us pushy New Yorkers. Okay, so thank you, Michael, so much. Actually, one more thing from my bucket list. I always wanted to meet you, Michael. So I hope that does happen, before I do pass. Okay, so this has been my very first Q&A. I hope you guys stick around for the whole thing. I might have to upload it in 2 parts because I had to pause it before. But, you know, I'll think of another Q&A. So in the meantime, all my love. And, oh, also, I'm going to link in the description. I have a GoFundMe. Because my finances are in dire situation right now, and just because I'm dying does not mean I don't have bills to pay, and I need to support myself because I don't eat the food here. For the most part, I have to get my food from the grocery store like a normal person, and I have to puree my own food most of the time. And I know a lot of you are probably like, oh, well, why don't you just depend on the tube for everything? No, I still want to have a little something by mouth just for oral pleasure. Oh, that didn't sound good. Oral pleasure. Giggity. So yeah, I'm going to link in the description my GoFundMe. I also need things like blankets, pillows, basic necessities that I don't have the money for anymore. I was getting Social Security disability, but now that I live in a medical facility, they assume that all your things are being provided for you, so they take your check from you. Nice. But I also have an Amazon.com wish list that I'll link in the description. So anything that anybody can give is always, it's a big help. But I have massive bills that I need to pay, and just because I'm dying does not mean I cannot pay them. I can't just let things go astray. It is what it is. So yeah, I will be doing another Q&A, possibly maybe over the weekend or next week. So start sending in those questions because I want to see more questions than this. A lot of things, let's do something juicy. So anyway, thank you to all who did send in your questions, and until next time, guys.